you ever notice that the moment you start thinking about selling your house, especially if you need to sell quickly, you are bombarded with advertisements? Get a cash offer today. We buy ugly houses. Close in 7 days. No commission. No repairs. And if you're dealing with an inherited property, a divorce, downsizing, financial stress, or a house that needs work, those ads can sound incredibly appealing. Because when you are under pressure, speed feels like the most important thing. But here's what I've learned after helping homeowners throughout Orange County. Selling fast and selling smart are not the same thing. In fact, I've seen homeowners leave $50,000, $100,000, even $200,000 on the table because they believed the only way to sell quickly was to accept the first cash offer that they received. The truth is, you don't have to choose between selling fast and getting a fair price. And today, I'm going to show you the exact strategy I use to help many of my clients sell their home in about a week while still creating competition that can drive the price even higher. If this is something you're interested in, stick around because the strategy has saved homeowners a significant amount of money. Hi, I'm Villani. I'm a real estate broker here in Orange County, California. Over the years, I've worked with every type of seller imaginable: inherited properties, probate properties, downsizing retirees, rental properties, homes that need major repairs, and people who simply want to move on with their lives as quickly as possible. One thing I've noticed is that almost everyone starts with the same assumption. I need to sell fast, so I guess I need to take a cash offer. Sometimes that's true, but many times there are better options. And that's why people lose money. Imagine this. You call one investor, he walks through your house, he points out everything that's wrong with it: the roof, the flooring, the kitchen, the bathroom. Then he tells you, I'll give you $1 million. You don't know if that's fair. You don't know what someone else might pay for it. You only know that's the only offer you've seen. So you accept it. The problem isn't necessarily the investor. The problem is that there was never any competition. And competition is what drives value. You wouldn't sell your car to the very first person who knocked on your door without seeing what anyone else would pay. Probably not, yet homeowners do it every day. This is where my process is different. I call it the 1 week listing strategy. And honestly, it's probably the strategy I recommend more than any other for homeowners who want to sell quickly without automatically taking the biggest discount. The first thing I tell my client is this: as is doesn't mean unattractive. It simply means you're selling the property in its current condition. You don't need to have your kitchen remodeled. You don't need to have the carpets replaced. You don't even need to paint every room. You actually don't even need to spend money getting the property ready. Instead, we make sure that the home is clean, safe, and presentable. Then we invest in professional photography, and if appropriate, a video. Even a fixer-upper deserves to be presented because buyers aren't just buying the current condition, they're buying the potential. Next, we price the home strategically. We don't overprice it and hope someone bites. We also don't underprice it to create a quick sale. We price it just where serious buyers recognize the value and want to act. Then comes the part that makes the strategy work. Everything launches at once. The home goes live on the MLS. Every local agent sees it. My Buyer database sees it. Local social media marketing starts. Open houses and private showings are scheduled within the same week. Instead of letting the listing sit for weeks, we compress the entire marketing campaign into 1 week. Why? Because buyers make stronger decisions when they know they're under competition. If someone thinks they're the only buyer, they'll negotiate hard. If they know that 10 other buyers are walking through the property this weekend, they're much more likely to submit their strongest offer the first time. After 7 days, we sit down and review every offer. Not just the price, the financing, the contingencies, the closing timeline, the deposit, whether it's cash or finance. Sometimes the highest price isn't the strongest offer. Sometimes a slightly lower cash offer with a 10-day close makes much more sense than a finance offer that's full of contingencies. The key is that you get to choose because you've created options instead of relying on one investor's opinion. That's what I want for every seller: options. Let me give you a real example. Not long ago, I helped a couple in San Clemente who had lived in their home for decades. Like a lot of people, they had accumulated a lifetime of memories and a lifetime of stuff. The house also needed updating. The carpets were dated, the kitchen needed to be remodeled, and there were repairs that they simply didn't want to deal with. They assumed their only option was to accept a discounted cash offer because they didn't want contractors, months of preparation, or strangers constantly walking through their home. But after that, we sat down and talked about their goals, and I realized something. They didn't actually need the fastest possible sale. What they really wanted was a simple transaction. So instead of selling to the first investor that came along, we implemented the 1 week listing strategy. We sold the home without having to remodel it, without having to replace anything, without turning their lives upside down. They ended up getting close to full market value, and on top of that, we negotiated a free 60-day rent back, so they had plenty of time to move to their next home. That's what I mean when I say the right strategy depends on your situation, not someone else's. Now, I also want to be honest, there are absolutely situations where taking a direct cash offer is a smart move. If you're facing foreclosure, dealing with major structural issues, need to close immediately, or simply don't want anyone walking through your home, a cash sale can be the right solution. My goal isn't to convince everyone to list their home. My goal is to help you understand every option available so you can choose the right one that best fits your situation. Let me give you another real example of a homeowner I worked with in Huntington Beach who had already received a direct investor offer for about $1,050,000. They assumed that was simply what the house was worth if they wanted to sell quickly. Instead of signing immediately, we took a different approach. We created exposure, brought additional qualified buyers into the process, and allowed those buyers to compete. The home ultimately ended up selling for around $1.25 million. That's nearly $200,000 more than the original offer. Every situation is different, and past results don't guarantee future outcomes, but it illustrates an important point. Taking a little time to create competition can make a meaningful difference. If there's one thing I hope you take away from this video is this: selling your house fast doesn't mean you have to sell it cheap. You have more options than most companies will tell you. Sometimes a direct cash offer is the right answer. Sometimes the 1-week listing strategy gets you to the finish line almost as quickly while giving you the chance to walk away with more money. The important thing is understanding all your options before making a decision. If you're an Orange County homeowner and you're wondering which strategy makes most sense for your property, I'd be happy to help. We'll sit down, look at your home, talk through your goals and your timeline, and I'll walk you through every option available, from a direct cash sale to a 1-week as-is listing strategy and everything in between. No pressure, no obligation, just honest advice so you can make the best decision for your family. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.